Texas State Representative Eddie Morales Jr. joins me now. We're very lucky you're in town tonight. It is your birthday. Happy birthday. Help us understand. Most of us do not live there. Explain what it's like in your community.
For the most part, it's nice. It's calm. You have to be on the river front and on the riverbanks in order for you to see what we have to deal with and what law enforcement and National Guard has to deal with on a regular basis. Thank God, in mid-December, I think President Biden did an amazing job in sending a team to visit with the president of Mexico. And within a day or two, we started seeing real action on the part of Mexico, where they were busing folks back on the Mexico side, putting migrants back on planes also. And that's what we needed to do. And that's what I had been pushing Governor Abbott for 2.5 years to implement. As the 8th largest economy in the world, Texas should have a seat with Mexico and with Latin America and should be calling Latin America out and trying to figure out ways on how to fix this immigration issue. Unfortunately, they're using our community and our people as a political theater. The Republican leadership. I mean, when we have Republican leadership, all they want to do is the political theater of taking over Shelby Park at a time when there was no need, for example, to take over Shelby Park right in the middle of downtown Eagle Pass, which is owned by the city of Eagle Pass. It makes no sense when the migrant surge in the early December had actually dissipated. You had 60-plus congressmen that go and visit Eagle Pass. There were more congressmen inside that processing tent than the 25 migrants that were being held in there. But you see, it's all a political theater on their part with no incentive to fix it, but just to continue to bring this issue up through the March primary and the November election. You have a governor that's coming out after reasonable Republicans, my colleagues that I can actually work and talk to about immigration. He's coming after them. You have a lieutenant governor who took $3 million from the Texas Attorney General Paxton's supporters in a process weeks before the impeachment. And now the Attorney General has actually, in court proceedings, admitted that he violated the whistleblower's rights. And now you have all these senators that actually voted not to impeach him. I mean, he threw them under the bus.
What are your constituents telling you?
Our constituents are telling us they need to fix the issue. I'm not saying that the White House doesn't have some issues also here. We cannot continue the status quo. Even if we're dropping from 10,000 numbers daily on migrant crossings in Eagle Pass, let's say to 1,000 or 2, we're kind of numb to those numbers. Yeah. And so we need to have a fix. But you see, we need to be the ones with the adults that have that conversation, that adult conversation in the room, that actually are wanting to fix this issue, not just try to bring more political fodder and political theater into the play, but with no incentive to fix it.
So what do you want the Biden administration to do?
We need to, if we can have understanding that we need to address this from a humanitarian side. And Governor Abbott's actions as far as what he's doing in Eagle Pass. The humanitarian act would be to put a pause or a moratorium on the migrant asylum seekers. Substantially, many of them will not qualify and do not meet the requirements. We have over 5 million people that have crossed in the last 2 years, migrants. We have 3 million of those which have actually seeking asylum and are not going to meet the criteria. The court proceedings are taking us all the way to 2034. So obviously, this is a burden on the system and it's unsustainable. And I think that's what our community sees also, and the rest of Texas and the rest of the country. We need to take action at the federal level, and we need to point fingers in the right direction, which is Congress. They have failed us for over 30 years. And so that is why I didn't want to be the representative that was the Hispanic representative from the border that was going to do this with respect to immigration. But I embraced the concept because nobody else was doing it. And when Congress has failed us for over 30 years is when I decided, you know what? Let's put up a migrant processing and jobs plan at the state level and show Congress how to do things.